Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday night's edition of Paranormal Quest Today. We'll be right back right after a short intro. And we are back. So I hope Paris had a good Monday. I know I hate Mondays, so I'm glad it's almost over. Ethan, how's your Monday?
Monday's going pretty good. I actually just woke up, so yeah, just pretty much getting my Monday started for the most part. For those that don't know, I work a third shift job, so yeah, I'm not just lazy.
right. I hear ya.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I worked the 4 a.m. to the noon shift. So
Ooh,
hey, Bill. Speaking of the devil, there's Bill.
Hey, Bill. What's going on?
There's Carbon.
Awesome.
And we got Cat. There's Cat in the house. Yeah, we got Lori.
Hi, Lori. Hi, guys.
So how y'all doing today? Thank you for joining. And we got Billion. Oh yes, work 24/7. Yes, we know. We know, Bill.
On that grind.
Well, that place can't stay immaculate all the time if you're gone. So
no.
So
there we go.
And then there's Michelle. How you doing? So I guess I'll keep going with the comments here. There's Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
So everybody's piling in to see the up and coming rising star of the paranormal field here.
Mr. Something Ethan. Like that. Those are some choice words.
Yeah, well, I had to build you up.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So I guess the first question will go, and I'm sure Taryn will pop in at some point when she gets a chance. Mm-hmm. So tell the people, who is Ethan Kammerude?
I'm a young, hard-working man. I fell in love with the paranormal. It's pretty left field JT. For me and my family. Like, this is not something that they would have ever expected, and I kind of get some of a pushback from my family on doing some of this stuff. But I fell in love with the paranormal when I was about 8 years old, I'd say.
There you go. Aging.
But I had my first paranormal experience when I was about 4 or 5.
There you go. See that, and that's I think is kind of like the tipping scale where most people start getting their paranormal experiences from. Mine was at the age of 7. So
wow.
Okay. So, Ajing, can you let people know where you're from? I don't want to butcher the name, so I want to say Indonesia. So I'll let her type it up. So other than that, that's awesome. So what was your first paranormal experience?
Well, I was a young kid. My mom, she worked third shift at the time, so she was about to take me to town. We're gonna go grocery shopping or something. And I say, "Hey, Mom, who's the man that's standing in our garage?" And I was looking out into the garage and whatnot, and I gave her a description. And she kind of like her mouth kind of and her jaw dropped and everything else. And later on, she showed me a picture of who was her first husband who had passed away. And I said, "Oh, that's the man that was standing in our garage." So that was it was pretty deep and heavy for my first ever, encounter, I guess, if you want to call it that, or experience. But it was pretty big, and my mom talks about it all the time ever since then. But that was my first actual experience. And then actually Ghost Adventures when I was about 8 years old.
Ooh, there you go.
It popped on TV. My whole family was watching it, and that's when I knew that this was actually a thing. And ever since then, I've been interested. So,
man, that's usually how it goes, and that's a good story, though. I mean, it's hey, Robert, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, it's at that type of age, it's like, when you start seeing spirits, it's like, 4 or 5, and I think I want to say that cutoff. Now, someone can chime in if I say it wrong, but I think that cutoff is like 10 to 12 is when you start not able to see spirits again. But then some of those really, they stick around with them, so it becomes with them,
Yeah. It just really depends on, I like to think of like what their family's beliefs are, or if they do believe in that sort of a thing, and just how long that could last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just yeah, that's just a cool thing that it happened to be a okay, so seeing shadow figures, yep, and full body apparitions. Yeah, I like to see full body apparitions. You know, shadow figures are too fast for me, but and one goes in this one, I gotta catch up with the other one, So,
Gotcha.
so what was your first team you joined, and who was your? Oh yeah, who were
Okay.
your friends?
So, I mean, I wouldn't have called us a team, but my first ever investigation, I just grabbed two of my friends and said, "You're coming with me to this big abandoned building, and we are going to spend the night," because I was the only one that was really, truly interested in it.
Hmm.
But technically, my team, and it's still my team, is Paranormal Exposures. I'm representing tonight.
Yep, which I still
Um,
gotta get a T-shirt, cat.
Cat and Paranormal Exposures. Kat Armstrong, she was my tour guide for my first investigation ever. And then her and I got to know each other a little bit, and then she invited me to investigation, and the chemistry was just too good. Me and the team, we just gelled right together right away. It was it was pretty good. So I've been with them ever since.
I mean, it's a good fit. Hey, Rick, how you doing? It's a good fit. I mean, you guys work together, you do well. I mean, it's the SS method with you guys. It's it's tandem. I mean, I got
It-
to see that firsthand at Edinburgh Manor when you did a dual one, and I don't get to see many dual Estes really. That was very interesting, and yes, you guys mixed very well.
yes.
I got stickers. I got two of those.
Yes. No, yeah, we are a fun group, as Laurie said.
Yes.
I like to think we have a somewhat unique way of going into things. I like to say that we're seriously not
Hmm.
serious. We can be serious, but our not seriousness is what sometimes gets us the best evidence on any of our stuff. I mean, a lot of my best evidence when I go back through my files is just when we're goofing around and then stuff starts to happen around us because they want to interact and have fun with us.
Right. Right. And that's the way it should go about. I mean, there's time to be serious and there's a time to goof around and stuff.
100%.
So, what's your top place you could call haunted?
Top place I can call haunted. Um, if I'm talking spirits per, capita or whatever,
Hmm.
I would have to say Edinburgh that I have visited. If that's like my top haunted that I have visited, but
Right.
that would probably be my top one for haunted, like that many spirits.
I don't have much plans for Halloween weekend, really. Just to sit in my house and watch scary movies and see if I can stay awake. It's kind of
Fair
like
enough.
New Year's in a way.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna be this weekend. It's gonna be there's an event going on up at the Broadhead Manor that I'll be a guide for public investigation. So that'll be
Awesome.
a lot of fun. You'll have to contact Broadhead Manor, which is now in the chat, and see if there's any spots available if you guys are interested in doing that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just going through the chat here. Hey, baby. That's funny.
There we go.
Chat's going wild, so there you go. Open Saturday night.
Yep. There's Broadhead Manor.
Yep. Hey, Penny, how you doing?
What's going on, Penny? Ever gone out of the country and investigated? No, I have not yet. There are a few places that I would like to visit, and one being Edinburgh Vaults.
I don't
And
think I ever heard of that one.
that one. I know Kat has visited it. That was the episode of Ghost Adventures that got me into paranormal, so that's kind of going to be like a thing that I want to do. So that's very fun. That's at
Yeah.
least one of them.
right? What's your most memorable spooky experience?
Oh boy, this one's difficult because we've had so many of them in my time. Um, I want to say it was actually my first time with my team Paranormal Exposures, when they were kind of giving me my trial run per se, in the basement of Edinburgh, and we were all kind of sitting down a hallway, and you could feel the energy was just getting like almost surrounding us almost, and it was like we were backed into a corner, and it was just kind of a really cool bonding moment for all of us. And Kat Armstrong, bless her heart, she kind of protected me really good in that moment. She ended up getting scratched in that moment for me in my stead because she kind of made a wall around me.
Right.
And so I do owe her a lot for that one. So
there's Taryn.
There she is. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Sorry.
That's
I'm in
right.
a different room. I'm in like a totally different, I'm like all over the place. So
That's all right.
You're all good.
We're just talking about his most what was it again? Most
memorable
spooky experience.
Yes. Oh. Yes. But Kat taking that scratch for me and, keeping me protected was kind of that was an infinite bonding moment between me and the rest of my team, and now here I am.
Got it. Sorry, talking to Terry.
You're good.
Love you too, JT. So how is everybody? I'm sorry. I hate busting in like last minute. I feel like I missed out on so much. So I'll catch up, but I just hello. Happy to have you on the show.
Taryn Kerper, Ethan, Taryn Kerper.
Hi, Taryn. We were in a show once together, but you were on the road and you were having a whole bunch of troubles. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
I do remember. I said, "Why do I know him? Why do I know him?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, what are we talking about tonight? Because I'm excited.
So we're letting everybody get to know who Ethan is. He's like I said, he's an up and coming rising star as a paranormal investigator. He does a lot of awesome things with Paranormal Exposures. He does some things on his own, and we're just I want to give him the light above his head and say let's go. So
I very much appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Absolutely. So okay, let's start at the beginning. I always do this. Normal questions, like how did you get into the paranormal? Have you always been into it?
I sent you a list.
What?
I sent you a list of questions.
You sent me a list of questions?
Yeah.
To where?
Your messenger.
Well, I'm in Facebook jail for 3 more days, just so you know.
Oh yeah. I kind of was hearing a little bit about that.
Fun.
See, you gotta stop being naughty.
You love animals and you express it, and you get in trouble.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, let's do a rundown real quick for her. So
anyway, long story short, because I gave the story a little bit ago.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry.
I did. No, it's good. I'll give you the short version. Basically, I was 4 years old. I saw my mother's first husband who had passed away in our garage, and she showed me a picture. I identified who it was, and it was a whole thing on how that was my first ever paranormal experience. And then later on in life, I grew to find that after watching Ghost Adventures, oddly enough, I knew that paranormal investigations were a thing, and then that got my interest after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say is like, okay, so what are your views of the paranormal now versus it was 5 years ago, being how you're 20? So
yeah, I was a little more scared of it back then, of course. It's spooky, it's the unknown and things like that. And as I've grown, I'm like, well, these are just humans for the most part. You do have your scary, darker things, but for the most part, it's like I'm talking to you right now, and that's how I try to go into every single paranormal situation is I'm coming to talk to other people. Mm-hmm. I'm not there to, I try to be as personable to the spirits as I can be, just That's what they want, is to be treated like they're alive. Do they want to be asked about their name every single time? No, they do not. Do they want to hear a really bad joke, corny joke? Maybe. I like to have fun with it. There's been a few times I have been spooked, but for the most part, I like to keep it pretty light. I like to keep it pretty real, I guess. Not quite dramatic.
So I do have to ask, though, now that you're in the field and you're working with people, I mean, do you still believe that Ghost Adventures is something that you should have looked up to get into the field?
No. I guess
Right choice of words.
Yeah.
See, anybody that watches Paranormal Brew knows how I feel.
Yeah.
Right? They know that the reason I started Paranormal Brew was because of shows like that.
Yeah.
Because of people like you who watch, the young people that are trying to get into the field, and they're watching this, and these people look up to them. They think it's cool because he looks cool. He wears his schmedium shirts, and he runs around and he's a tough guy, right?
Well,
and so I'm happy that I'm actually talking to you right now, because you are the reason why I created Paranormal Brew, because I wanted people to have somewhere to go to say, you know what, that's not how I'm supposed to do it, or that's not how it's supposed to be, So I'm happy that you're here.
Yeah, naturally, as I knew, I kind of went into it pretty not as intense as Zach Baggins does it, because I knew that was wrong. Not everything that I walk into is in fact demonic. So that's it makes me laugh. I watch it now. It's more of a comedy show, but I do enjoy learning about locations. That's one thing I do enjoy about that show, for sure. That's the thing.
Yeah, and that's important. I mean, wherever you go, wherever you investigate, as a paranormal investigator, do you have any sensitivities, or are you a paranormal investigator? I'm a paranormal investigator, so there's no wrong answer here. I mean, it's going to lead me into my next question.
I do have some sensitive abilities. I really don't know how to describe exactly what I am, I guess. I'm not like something crazy like a psychic or anything like that, but I can feel energies. If I know a place well enough, I know where I'm going to go get activity at. Is pretty much. I get like these weird mental flashes, which is really strange, and I also get premonition dreams. So I got a couple strange things.
We have a lot of similarities. We have a lot of similar things. I'm not a psychic medium. Sometimes I can be clairaudient. I'll hear answers like you. I can, if I let myself do what I do, like if I sit in a location, I like to close my eyes in complete quietness and just listen and use my other senses other than my eyes to feel and hear the natural occurrences of the house or of the location, I think that helps out a lot. But how often do you get 10 minutes in quiet when you're with a team of people, right? Like it doesn't happen that often. So, I'm happy that I'm talking to you, because this is interesting. I mean, I've been investigating now 20 years, probably, maybe a little more. And you already seem like you're, well off to, you got a head start. You know what I mean? Like it seems that this is has come easy to you. Like I don't want to say there's no right or wrong in this field, but there is, and you're on the right path.
I'd agree that there is a right and there is a right and wrong in some cases, I believe. Yes. Not all cases, but some cases. Yes. I think I have had a lot of really good mentorship right off the bat with this. And then on top of,
I'm not going to mention anybody.
No, she deserves all the credit in the world.
I know.
But
yes, she does.
And then just being spiritual has been always been a part of my life, knowing that, there is another existence out there. It's always been a belief in my life. So it's not something that's a new concept or something that's, new to me at all.
And he's got a team that they work really well with each other. Like the communication is so good. I mean, you don't see that a lot. You see teens fall apart or the lack of communication, what's going on, and they transition, they do things really well. So that's key what his lap has fallen into, So
somebody from Broadhead Manor. I'm not sure because I do see Cat on here, so I don't know who it would be, but
Bill Walter.
Okay, hi Bill. How are you? He said he tries to prove me wrong and vice versa at the building, but together we can make that building insane.
Yeah.
Yes. When I can get Bill to actually investigate, when him and I work together, we get some of the most amazing evidence. Some of the best sessions I've ever had have been.
And isn't that amazing?
Bill.
Like you could investigate with some people and it's always dead, no pun. Yeah. But then you investigate with others and you're just like, wow, how is this? I mean, you see it with ghost hunters with like when Jason and oh my God, Grant. And Grant would investigate together. They always got good stuff together, No. And there's just certain people that you do work with that you actually, I feel like the energy, the connection is so good and positive that's kind of what draws in the energy.
For sure. I definitely agree with that. I feel like anyone that I can sit here and talk with easily, such as, you, Darren, like we've worked together.
Yep.
Like, I feel like just any sort of connection other than, just getting good evidence, you can get good things with some people if you can just sit there and have a good connection with someone already.
You have to be able to trust the people you're investigating with too.
Yes.
And by trust, that word it's like on all levels. Like I've investigated with somebody and I saw them fake something. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I just now the entire investigation's out the window. Anything EVP wise, anything that I might have, like I have to throw the entire thing out. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be able to trust that, Ethan's in the other room. If he says something happened, I trust that it happened.
Right.
And then we have to go and look into that. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to trust the people you're investigating with. I mean, that one little thing that just, now it's like, and then I was stuck investigating with this person again. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything, but I had to do what I could do, but I was like, how am I gonna? How do you take anything from that and say it is because you don't know what they're doing? I don't trust that they're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. That would be a difficult spot to be in. I've been blessed that I've been around good people that I haven't ever had to have those issues, but.
It can also go down to his locations too, because some certain locations can affect different people in different ways.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, one place you could be chiming together real good, then the next location is like, well, what happened? We're kind of at odds.
Mm-hmm.
The building's not working for the both of us.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
That's true. Me and the Peaches were at Strauss Mansion, and we love each other to death. Like we would literally marry each other if we could. We love each other. But when we were investigating there, and you listen back on the audio, it's like we all were kind of like nitpicking at each other through the whole night. And we were like, wow, it was such a shitty investigation, Then we go to the Hinsdale, and Hinsdale, we had the best time of our lives investigating there.
It goes about mood. There again, it's about mood, and it takes one mood to be off to throw everybody off.
Yeah. Which is why I don't agree with Destination Fear. Everybody can yell at me and whatever. I've talked to them personally about this. Like they understand where I'm coming from because they're very cool people. I love them as people. Like they're so fun. They're so awesome. They're nice and they're good investigators. However, the whole concept of the show about they're doing things to get themselves either scared or afraid or, at these extreme conditions within their bodies or their heads and then going to investigate.
They're pushing themselves to the limit is what they're doing.
Exactly.
And the thing is,
I don't agree with that. So
sometimes there
Yeah,
can be
no.
good things that come out of it, and then there's
Mm,
sometimes that can't. But
because you should be going in with nothing but, like, if there's, I mean, like, I was taught, and I still believe in this. And that was a long time ago, and some things have changed, but this is one thing that I will stand by is, you have a fight, you're in a bad mood, you aren't feeling good, you stay home,
Yeah.
because you have other people you have to worry about as well,
Right.
so you don't want to put anybody at risk.
but
You don't want
also
to bring that on investigations or anything like that.
right, right. But the thing is when you go to investigation, things are okay, and then all of a sudden there is a rift because something happened to somebody else and nobody was there to catch it. Then there could be, and then the investigation can go to shit. But if everybody comes in a good mood, everything's going right. Like I said, they push themselves. They do experiments because I'm an experimental kind of guy for the paranormal field. And we all know this. So that's why I kind of like watching their show because, number one, like Ethan said, location. Okay. They show locations, and that's key because that's something that I like to look at. Experiments. I like to look at that. Now, yes, they've been in the wrong in a few times in my eyes of when they took themselves too far because someone forgot a radio and couldn't find the other person, and the other person had to get real sick,
Yeah.
But that happens. That happens, and they have to learn from their mistakes. They're young kids, just like Ethan. They're young.
But see, that's the thing. Like, so that Ethan's
And
watching
then-
this as a seasoned investigator, that it's just a show.
Right.
You know that, okay, they're doing this for this. I'm not going to do it, but I'll watch them do it,
Yeah.
But somebody younger than Ethan watches the show and they go, oh, is this what we're supposed to do?
Right. And they don't know the difference. When we were at Edinburgh Manor, I'm not really afraid of any location to go to anything at all because I go in without that.
Yeah.
The boiler room at Edinburgh Manor actually scared the crap out of me because I thought if you go in there by yourself, I felt that something was ready to pounce on you. And when Kat was saying, it's just a matter of a flip of a switch. When you turn the lights on, you turn the lights off. That's how it goes. Mm-hmm. So at that point in time, that's why that night, no, I wasn't going to go to the boiler room, and I'll try it next time around and see if it's a different feel. And that's the thing that you got to make that decision when you go on an investigation like that. Like, this is it. We're not going to touch this. We're going to go somewhere else because it's a big building. So there's plenty of other places to investigate.
Right.
And just try it again next time.
Yeah.
So
how do you?
And here's the thing, like, you can't, like, if that's the way you want to investigate and you know what you're doing, just like with people that use Ouija boards or use other divination type of things to communicate. If you know what you're doing and you know how to control, which honestly, we don't know what, at the end of the day, we actually don't know what we are communicating with. So how can we ever 100% know what to do in a situation if shit hits the fan? We don't, because we can try and do things that we've, come up, have learned or have dealt with, but you got to know what you're doing in those situations.
Right. So what were you going to say earlier, Ethan?
So a question for you guys. How do you guys feel about solo investigating?
I like it. It gives you a chance to be one-to-one with the building.
Yeah.
Get the feel of the building. And once again, test your limits and know when to say, okay, it's time to go.
When to say when. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
For me, it depends on the location.
That too. It does depend. Like I said, it does depend on the location.
Gettysburg all day. I'll investigate by myself all day, all night. I'll sleep over anywhere. I trust that place.
Nice.
Pine Barrens in New Jersey. No way. Not doing it.
I mean, I could. We spend overnight at Broadhead all the time.
Yeah.
But you say we. You're not by yourself.
Yeah, but still, we do our solos when we go out there, though.
Right.
And that building is a very good building because there's nothing negative there. Nothing's gonna hurt you. You're just there to, explore the building. It's an awesome building. The owner loves the building, so therefore the spirits love him, and it's just the way how it goes. And you could feel confident and they'll give you what you want.
Yeah.
You know, now Edinburgh is a different story because there's many different spirits, different attitudes, different situation.
Yeah,
For sure.
I investigated Hinsdale by myself for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was there for a day and I felt comfortable there. We were there for a whole night already. So it was like a day and a half I'd been there. And I felt completely like, I was like, this is one of the best places I've ever been. So my girls all went to dinner and I stayed behind. I was live the entire time. I was there and I was by myself for 2.5 hours and it was great.
I mean, it's the same thing too. Is I got to mention the museum in Watoma. Same thing, comfortable place to investigate. Certain areas are a little bit different than others, but you have to get the feel of that. So it's like a mixture there. Again, nothing's gonna hurt you unless you do stupid things and provoke.
Of course.
But there again, it's a mixture of spirits.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Anywhere like that. So
let's see. So what is your bucket list now that we're on butt locations?
Ooh, okay. I like this. Well, honestly, top of the list for me is actually the Conjuring house. That is my number one for me. The Conjuring was the first movie that I ever saw.
So my kid sleeps.
Or not first movie I ever saw. The first horror movie I ever saw. But,
really? That was the first horror movie you ever watched?
Yep. First horror movie was The Conjuring. So,
when did that come out?
You're
making me feel really old, Ethan.
I apologize.
Like I could be your mama.
So The Conjuring goes way up on the list. Second would probably be Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Yeah.
Once you get all that stuff straightened out, yeah.
And then third would be Indiana State Sanatorium. So.
Oh yes, that's supposed to. Is there like a Netflix thing going on about that? Isn't there?
I'm unsure, but I have the team ACG, which I've investigated with a time or two.
Okay.
I've been in contact with them. They've been getting some great stuff out there, and they pretty much have me convinced to go there now. So.
Yeah, I see a thing on Netflix about it. It looks like an interesting building. It's huge.
It's big, yeah. It's good. I've been getting seeing some really good EVPs, different things coming out of there. So very clear, like Class A, very clear stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That says you're still baby. I want to add, he's an adorable baby. He's so cute.
Appreciated. Thank you.
He's adorable.
So, okay. So here's another one for you. In case, is there another question in chat before I ask one?
Well,
that we missed. Is there something I missed?
So we kind of talked about some of the questions. Like we just talked about the solo investigating, and then this was adding adrenaline to the mix. This is when we were talking about Destination Fear. So we kind of talked about that already. Nope. Here's a high.
Okay.
And
hey, Laura.
Go ahead.
So the question I have next is, so what is your favorite piece of gear of choice?
Ooh, okay. This one I'm split on, so I'll talk about them both. First one is probably the mag lights. I don't know if you guys have used these. These are the twist-on lights that can be turned on and off.
I avoid those.
You see, and that's fair. A lot of people will. But I have gotten some amazing evidence from these in the past, and that it's quite astonishing to me. It's more of a curiosity that just keeps going on why they work and why I get such good responses from them. I like to set up different colored flashlights, and for those that don't know, mag lights are just flashlights that are they are twist on and off essentially. And Kat and I have gotten some really good evidence with those, going by specific colors of lights and different things to make sure that they're legit and being like, can you turn on this one if you're a male, this one if you're female, responding things on the spirit box of female voices coming through when that light went on.
Right.
Or just asking simply, can you turn the blue light on? And then the blue light turns on, so on and so forth. And then the second one would be my music box, my motion detecting music box, which is a lot of fun. I've been questioned on it a lot lately, which is understandable. I had some things where it just wouldn't stop going off. So I realized that the batteries need to be changed frequently. So I changed them a lot now. But I've had some really good interactions with those, specifically at the museum, which you're going to here soon.
Right.
I had a really good conversation with someone that was a murderer that was held there. Don't know the name, don't know anything like that, but just now know the backstory of that person, all because of yes and no questions with the music box that I own.
So. Now, have you ever gone back and like researched anything that you've gotten answer-wise to see if maybe there's any documented historical facts of the things that you're getting?
I do
it's
some.
Okay if you haven't.
No,
okay.
a lot of people, such as Bill, that's in chat when it comes to his building, he already has loads of history. So if I go and tell him, hey, I got this and I got that, he's able to back up some of that with his history. Different things like that, where some of these people that I already investigate with, such as Kat at Edinburgh, she's a tour guide. She already knows boatloads of history about the place. So I'm pretty fortunate with the historical resources that I already got.
That's good.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I use a spirit talker a lot, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about it, Taryn. And Kat is, you know, she's agreed with me. That spirit talker has been dead on for every location I've been to. It knows to split up where we are and how to collaborate with the building. And yeah, it's an app on a phone, but it works well, and I use it and I trust it, you know. And it's helped Bill.
Yeah,
I've liked some of your stuff that you've gotten from that, I will say.
I mean, it's kind of like the obvious, where but it doesn't give full sentence. It gives full sentences like the obvious does not.
Okay.
So, I'm surprised you didn't mention the trip lights, because that's big. That's big right now.
The trip lights are fun. It's good if you're doing like long hallways and stuff like that, like you would with a team or anything like that. But I do a lot of solo stuff for the most part, and so I sometimes ringing out the whole 36-foot string of lights isn't exactly what I want to do when I'm by myself. So
true.
I like to stick
pick
to
that shit up real fast and run. You know? Hey, don't mind me. I'll just swing this in the air. If I catch it on the way, oh well.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo on out of there. No,
Scooby snack. There you go. That's
Jason. Yeah, then I'll really start seeing some stuff.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes it helps.
Hey, sometimes.
Not that I know by personal use. I'm just saying.
So real quick, flip side of that question. Okay, if money was no object, what would be the gear of choice you would buy like right away?
Jeez. Probably one of the really fancy thermal cameras. Not gonna lie, one of those like $1,200 like FLIRs or something like that.
FLIR is definitely a necessity.
That would probably be the top most expensive one that I can just think of off the top of my head that I'd be interested in getting.
Yeah, the small ones look nice. I like the small ones.
Yeah, I know people have the ones that like attach to your phone and different things like that.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I haven't ever used one, but if I had the money, I'd go all in with the really expensive one.
Right.
Yeah, I like old school. I like things that are not made for ghost hunting. So I like the FLIRs, like, you know, but people, you know, the stuff that's not made for ghost hunting. I like to use what an electrician would use. Now I do have two trigger props that I use. It's a cat and a train, because I think those are the easiest to explain to somebody from the 1800s or before or in the past.
And kids.
You know? Yeah, anything, because I mean, you're going to talk to, you know, I'm just using Civil War as an example because I go to Gettysburg a lot, but you know, you talk to a Civil War soldier, you're going to say, you have a REM pod on the floor. Be like, oh, can you touch that thing that's making noise and lighting up? It's round, black. And, you know, they're going to be like, what? No, they've known what trains are, and they know what cats and dogs are. So I'll use maybe those, but I won't put any weight into it.
Yeah.
And I use it, you know, the person I get it from, I know is he's really, really good at his work and what he does. So he does try to shield out a lot of that, what could be man-made, you know, interference, you know, with those two things. But yeah, I'm baby powder, compasses, you know.
I like it.
Old school.
I like it.
and recorders. And my recorders are $20 to $170, like nothing. EVPs are my thing. So
Yeah.
I have like 6 recorders.
So there is one thing I want to try. And this is all credit to Dan Norville and Larry.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try tuning forks.
The
And
fuck
just
is that?
a tuning fork. So a tuning fork is where you get vibrations off the fork and try and
like a doctor has?
it's just like a little, a tuning fork. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that type deal.
The doctors, doctors use them.
Yeah. I mean, if you go watch on Paraflix on Expedition Entity, the last 2 or 3 episodes, it has a tuning forks out, and that's what their experiment is trying.
Okay.
It's just trying to get the vibrations off the tuning fork and see what they can get out of it.
Okay. That's interesting. I haven't seen that yet, but
yeah,
I'll have to go give that a watch.
Yeah, it's Roku and your iPhone.
Yep.
So, let's see. Sharon, did you have a question?
Oh, I mean, I've been asking a lot of questions. I feel like
I gotta go back to my questions.
I feel like I'm talking too much. I have to say that I really do admire where your brain is at in this process, especially with Ghost Adventures being, you know what I mean? And that's not a knock on you. That is totally like,
Come on, he dressed like Zach Baggins on Saturday. Come on.
I actually did. It's a running joke with my team that I'm Dollar Tree Zach Baggins. So
oh my God.
I showed up to our Halloween party full Zach Baggins.
Yes.
Wide brimmed fedora, glasses, the whole bit.
Now the question is the glasses have prism in there?
No.
Because he has to wear a prism glasses now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question. What is the most craziest test you put yourself through during an investigation?
Oh man, I'll put in. I don't know if it's considered crazy, but the most interesting was this. It was a triple Estes session. Going
triple.
Right. Yes, triple. It went down through the vortex of Edinburgh Manor. I was on the second floor with one of our teammates. There was a group on the first and one in the basement, right? And we were all above each other in this line, and we did a little experiment, which ended up in me getting touched very weirdly, to say the least. I was on the woman's side, if that gives you any context going on.
Was it? I mean,
were they nice boy? A nice boy.
Was it like right for the whole pack? Was it?
It was. It was going for it. It was.
Someone must be lonely.
Wish I had condoms that day. No,
someone was
this
like,
podcast sponsored by Trojan Man.
I told you were cute. You walk in, the ghost is like, okay.
they kind of might have gave me one of those. Yes.
The Dan Aykroyd event, I call it.
It was interesting, but that was one of the best experiments that I was involved in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
John Covey, love you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
What are his thoughts on mediums on investigations?
Completely for it. All mediums I find it very interesting. I do need some sort of, I don't know if I don't need proof. I need to spend time with the person before I'm like 100% this is a medium, this is a psychic, because I've seen some that have talked about places that I've been to that I completely disagree with, or different things that, I can feel energies at least. And I know that there isn't like something dark or demonic, kind of like they had that Ghost Adventures talk to them and they were a psychic medium saying everything was a demon. So, right. And basically I need some sort of that they're a medium. I would need to spend time with them to fully know, but I'm fully for them being on investigations and things like that. I mean, I have some very talented people on my team that I don't know if they aren't classified as psychic medium, but we have a good group of people that few of us can feel things, and we've proven it to one another time and time again.
Yeah.
So,
and that's awesome. I mean, it's the trust. I also think it's how you perceive. It's just all about your own, how you perceive everything as well and how you take it in. I mean, for me, lately I've been coming across locations where people don't know the history. So I need to rely on a medium that can come with me and say, okay, this is what happened. Because as a paranormal investigator, I want the history. I want to know the factual history. I don't want to know the ghost stories. I want to know the factual history. So I bring April Busette with me sometimes and stuff like that to help out so that she can walk around and say, if we don't know the history, we can find it out. And a lot of I don't know of anything that hasn't come to fruition that she has said walking through locations that they didn't have the information.
You see, that's pretty cool right there. That's the kind of stuff that I need to be 100%. Now I trust that person. You know what I mean?
You investigate with Cynthia Gerodius, right?
Me? No.
Okay. So Cynthia Gerodius from Raven Rose Paranormal. I love investigating with her because she can do a 1-to-1 talk with the spirit and we can hold a conversation, like full on conversation. And it's like, we could do it for 45 minutes. It's just amazing. And that's another thing that I'd like to have on my team is, we could do that. Talk to a spirit and, with Michelle's mediumship that she has, that we can work with that and keep going with that,
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another person too and Kat can vouch for me with Cynthia Gerodius. So, yeah, that's just one of those things. You should actually definitely try and investigate with her and with Kat and all together, and I think you'll enjoy it.
I'll have to try to look into that. I have heard of the team, of course, Raven Rose, but I haven't really gotten to see much of their stuff or work with them yet. So, we'll have to work on that.
Absolutely. So what is what experiment that you really want to try that you haven't tried yet?
That's an interesting one. I don't know if there's an experiment that I think there's a lot of stuff that I want to do with like Enbro Manor. It's kind of been like my home. I guess that's where I first started investigating and where my team always ends up going back to. I think there's a lot of secrets and things there that have yet to be turned up, given that the history has been so scrambled with that place.
Right.
And then the entity that's there, we have a possible another triple Estes, but all three of them in the basement that we are thinking of trying. That was thrown out at our party on Saturday. And I think there are things to be done there, but anything specific, we're just trying to learn more about the place. Right. Because it's just one big question mark, which with most places, you have at least an idea of what you're going to go get. Right. But every single time we go back, we get more questions than what we came in with.
Well, those are fun.
Yeah, it's like and every single time I go back there, though, it like starts another chapter in my paranormal life. Every single time.
Well, you leave an imprint every place you go. So,
right. But see, that's awesome because it's going to be, it's like a place that for you is like you said, it's opening up different avenues for you to learn and be educated and, which I think is amazing. Never stop learning.
Yes. Right. Once you stop learning, you might as well just get out and be done.
John wants to know, what is your ultimate goal to leave a mark within the paranormal field?
Well, I have a couple different ones on my, just one is with my team, just be able to give us a good, safe experience, have a good time, because I absolutely love these people. I love just spending time with them if we get something or not. But I've been doing my own solo thing. I have my own passion project. It's called Ethan Encounters. I just try to bring good, authentic, free paranormal content to people, as authentic as I can get it, and anyone can disprove me, and I'll, if you can disprove me, I applaud you and I appreciate it, because that'll teach me something.
That's awesome.
And I try to put out really good content for people to know that is factual. I mean, you can only believe in a
Right.
random person on the internet so much, but I
Right.
try to give people the best that I can. So
Right.
That's awesome.
if I can
Yep.
just give someone something to enjoy. Yes, Kat just quoted my last video. I did a special at Broadhead, and I called a room "Big Ass Spooky Dead Bird Room." Yes, thank you. Because it was big and spooky, and there was a dead bird. If you can put that together.
I love how your brain operates. I love it.
I appreciate it.
I hope I get a chance to investigate with you one day, because you telling somebody I would definitely vibe with and be able to investigate with, and trust that,
Yeah.
That what's happening. Because I do the same thing. I go to Gettysburg and I'm live and I'm doing EVP sessions and I'm doing EVP bursts, and I'm just, and everybody's can watch, and I'm like, hey, if anybody hears or feels anything, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people want to see the Zach Baggins. I don't know why, but
Some people do.
Yeah, the multimillionaire. Okay, so we've talked all about all the places that you've been, all the places that you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now here's the thing: is what place scares you?
What place scares me?
Or ones you will not go back to?
Ones I won't go back to. It's more of a gripe than actually being scared about it. The Villisca Axe Murder House. It wasn't scary. It was just not what I expected. I feel like it's a little overrated a little bit. But is what it is. There isn't really much of the family's energy still there, which is what I went in there expecting and hoping for, because everyone's heard, or most people have heard that story.
Right.
I went in there, and pretty much the only thing that I got really interested in was this doll that they had in the attic, which was definitely possibly moving, and its name was Lucy. So that was very interesting.
Nope.
Yeah, it was a big note for me because I didn't know it was haunted.
That's when you'd be by yourself. If we went there together, you'd be by yourself up there. I'd be like,
I'm
here if you need anything.
He's done it by himself.
I fell asleep laying next to the doll in the attic. And I didn't realize how haunted it was yet.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it was an interesting move, but Villisca was just kind of a disappointment. I guess there was nothing yet that has scared me enough to where I won't go back to a place.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that that's one that I'm like, if I go back, I go back. If I don't, I don't. And that's a pretty famous one to say that about. But
it is. But I mean, it's the thing is with that one, the attention, how violent the murders was. Okay, for you, it's not gonna really hit that hard.
Yeah.
Now for a psychic medium, it's going to have a whole different effect on it. It's going to hit really hard.
Maybe
there's a few that I know that I have a very hard time going in there because they know what happened and they can see what has happened. The main thing I think out of that place, more or less, is we're trying to get answers as who the killer is, because it's such an untold, unfinished story of who the killer is. You know, and I think that's what people are trying to get out of it more. But it does at certain points of the building, it does hit you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that there isn't energy. I'm just there isn't any of that family or energy that is left from that anymore. There's a lot of people.
They say the same about the Lizzie Borden house too.
Mm-hmm.
They say that nobody's really ever picked up on the family.
Yeah,
was there.
Yeah, and even talking to, I believe his name is Johnny Hauser, the guy that is the guy there at Villisca, and he's like, yeah, there's none of them left. They're getting things there that are just like in French or something. Just they're getting things that are off the wall that they think people are just leaving there just from so many people coming through there. I mean, the amount of people that went through that house the day that I investigated there was insane. There had to have been up close to 50 people that toured that house that day, so just different things like that. And he said there's not even family energy really at this point. So
I agree. I agree with John. Residual energies can often be more intimidating and overwhelming than that. Yeah, I mean, people have seen like surgeries taking place in Gettysburg on, you know what I mean, like field hospital stuff happening. You know, can you imagine as a person like looking in a window and seeing something like that, like blood everywhere and chopping off limbs, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, what's happening? What is happening?"
Right,
Right, that would be messed up.
Maybe I'd run on that one.
I don't think we'll ever find out who the killer is, but we do know that there is an energy there that is negative.
Yeah, and that's all that we'll be able to sit here with, I believe, with that location.
And negative doesn't mean demon. Negative can just be they were an asshole in real life. Now they're an asshole in thereafter, you know?
I like that you said that, because that's a lot of people like to confuse those things, such as at probably one of my favorite locations, Broadhead Manor. There's two negative energies there that are just grumpy old men, and everyone thinks that you know, demons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's right. There's not demons. In fact, the grumpy old guy in the boiler room, the one that goes down the stairs in a smaller room.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing. I'm not naive, but the thing is not every black shadow is something negative or demonic. Even if you get scratched, that doesn't mean that it's something demonic or negative. Like I try to tell, because private homes a lot of times, you know, not being in the field and not having the education, you know, they automatically think something wants to kill them, you know, and you're like, listen, if there's something you can't see wants to push you down the steps, they're going to push you down the steps.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure you get hit with that glass in the head. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, I was on a private case. I felt burning on my back. You know, there was a scratch and then red marks. And immediately the medium I was with said, that was just a little girl, but her energy is so strong. Her energy is on such another level than yours that your energy just couldn't handle her touching you. All she did was touch you. But normally people are like, oh my God, you got scratched. Someone's trying to kill you. Get the fuck out. You know, and you're like, no.
Thank you. Yes, that's a very good point. I'm glad that you brought that up. But yeah, that's people just never realize some of the things that are going on around them, and it's not everything is bad. There's a lot more, I'm not going to say good, but you know, neutral than what we think there is.
Mixed feelings.
Yeah, there's a lot more mixed.
Yeah. I mean, like I said with the boiler room, it's you get that feel, and it's like, nope, not today.
Sometimes that's just how it has to be.
Right.
Heidi wants to know if you've ever been frightened on an investigation.
Yes, he sees me.
Yeah, Edinburgh last time was real frightening. I walked around the corner. Darren was right there. Scared the shit out of me. But anyway, no, the one time, probably the most scared I've been wasn't even a spirit that scared me. It was I was at Malvern Manor in Iowa, and we were setting up our DVR cameras, running cords, and I walked around the corner up to the attic, which is a very tight staircase. I went to go around the corner, and there's this little gremlin thing that they had sitting there, scared the crap out of me. But probably Basement of Edinburgh has scared me the most in the past when actually talking to spirits. It was the first initial time that it ever happened to me, and ever since then, I know the routine at this point of what's going to happen, and I know what I'm getting myself into. But the first time, I was like, well, geez, we better buckle up. This is going to be interesting. Don't know what's going to come of this one.
Yeah, and Malvern is a tricky place. Again, it's just like Edinburgh.
That's a place that I wish I lived closer to, is Malvern.
Yeah, I mean, both locations are, you know, easy to investigate during the daytime, and then when the nighttime falls, it's a switch that hits, and it's like, oh shit, now what do I do? Because the place where you just were during the daytime is completely different at nighttime, and it's like, now I have to investigate this a lot more differently than what I did during the daytime. So you gotta make adjustments.
Gotta buckle up and have a good time.
Right.
I like it.
Let me see something here. Bill said, it makes me wonder why he stays. I don't disagree on him getting physical. But I wonder if it's due to him seeing the place as was and then seeing us just casually wandering around it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're referring to the janitor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were talking about like people being touched and stuff, and Lori was saying, they want your attention. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
like I don't know if you're young, so I'm just gonna respectfully say this. I don't know. Did you ever see the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
I remember seeing it a long time ago.
So there was
watched with my mother.
Yeah, thanks. But
I hope it wasn't already got to the potty scene. Or was it
yeah.
pottery.
So no, I'm talking about like when he was in the subway and was trying to kick the can and he couldn't, and he kept trying, and then all of a sudden he used all of his energy and the can went flying across the subway. Right? Mm-hmm. It's like they could just be going, hey, and you don't feel it. You have no idea they're there. They're gonna, yeah, I know, Kat. Thank you that's what I'm saying. Well, your mom, I know.
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
I already said that I could be his mother. I already said this, so
don't mean to make everyone feel old.
Hey, age is just a number.
Exactly, I agree.
I'm still 22 in my head.
In your head. That's yep.
I feel like I'm going on 55 half the time.
Sorry to hear it, Darren.
It's what factory work does for you.
Yep.
Kills your body.
I'll be there.
Yeah. So, you got any more questions, or you're searching?
I thought you were going to talk about when Rita lets Sam use her body.
Oh yeah, that part where the second medium. Yep, when Whoopi let the spirit go inside of her.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, she's talking about the movie.
Yep, she's talking about the movie.
Oh, I thought she was talking about. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry, Carmen. I was told. I did not know what you were talking. I thought that was a question for you, Darren, and you guys. I was like, let somebody use their body.
I've seen ghosts plenty of times. But it does make you wonder though what she was saying about the train scene and the subway scene. Mm-hmm. How often does a spirit actually go through those stages when they're gone? Do they have somebody teach them how to do that? I mean, it's just like the other day I was in the cemetery. I'm like, I started thinking like, okay, we're out here talking to the graves. Okay. Now you got these mausoleums, right? Mm-hmm. Can the spirits actually hear you talking to them when they're in that mausoleum and they're double encoded from the world versus, the headstones just right out in front of you?
I don't think personally, like this is all about, I think this is all what you believe in. I don't think that people are with their graves.
Yeah.
I don't think they're there. I mean, who would want to go hang out at their grave?
But the thing is why do we have haunted cemeteries then?
There are some haunted cemeteries, but I believe that we bring them there.
I like what you just said. I like
we're going there and we're seeking this out. We're trying to communicate.
Yeah, maybe we're calling them there. Could be.
With some of these locations, are we just calling people back to that location?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're trying to forget, and we're bringing them back.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very interesting concept. I've been thinking a lot about actually just recently. So
yeah,
that's
and it's a possibility.
Yeah, we could just be. That's why they say help me, because they're like, what is going on? Why am I back here? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that could be one.
And it's just like Bill's spirit too in his building when I forgot, was it? I think Dan passed a spirit on, and I could be at the wrong person that I'm talking about, Bill. So, but a spirit was passed on, but they keep coming back, and Bill's like, "You were just passed on. Why do you keep coming back?" It's because he loves being there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it don't matter if you go to pass a spirit on. It determines if they want to be moved on.
They have free
will. If they do, free will, and if they do get moved on, they have that choice to come back whenever they want.
Yes.
That's what people say. Do ghosts follow you home ever? I'm like, who would want to come? I go to Gettysburg. If I'm in Gettysburg as a ghost, I'm not coming to New Jersey. No, that's me. I'm in Gettysburg for a reason. You know, like
Yes.
I believe they are where they are for a reason, unless it's a family member or somebody that watches over you, you know, somebody that's with you all the time. I mean, I feel that my dad, you know, shows up to places because I think he's just there with me. I think he's always with me, you know. So I think, you know, I remember going to a medium and she had no idea that some of the things that she brought up were definitely things that, you know, aren't just, you know, the cross the T dot the I, like, you know, normal stuff. But, you know, she said to me, and my father did not believe in going to a cemetery and all the time, like on anniversaries, how people do that. You know, he didn't believe in that. He never went to his mother's.
Mhm.
And she said, she looked at me and she said, you know, your dad only goes to the cemetery because you're there. He's there to comfort you because you're there crying at his grave. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
I said, wow. Okay. I won't go. I mean, I don't want that, but you know, but I think that's, you know, talking about bringing people to places. I think that happens. And then let's be honest, if you're in a location, let's pretend, let's just pretend for a second. I'm a ghost and I'm in this location and it's been dark for feels like hundreds of centuries, right? And in walks this Ethan who I can see, and there's this bright light, and he's saying, "Hey, can anybody hear me or talk to me? What's your name?" I'm going to go, "Oh my God, I can finally talk to somebody."
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what brings it.
That's all about stories. They want it. They have something to share with you, and they want to get it out, but they don't know how sometimes.
Yeah. I've had a very interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, Darren. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying that, like Heidi. Okay, she draws, right?
Mhm.
And then she also does she write too what she's thinking at the same time?
I think those are. She separates those.
Okay, so that's one way how you could get the story to come through is by drawings, by what she's hearing and what she's writing down. That's another way to do it. I mean, some are really good at it, and me, I'm like, give me a spirit box. I can read this. I can read my own handwriting.
I'm in the same boat with you there. That's for sure. No, Bill Walter brings up his spirit, Norman, who has been crossed over, but he still comes back. Yes, Norman, I've had some very interesting interactions with him. I said, hey, I know you're crossed over and you can pretty much have your own free will for the most part. If I'm ever out speaking to, you know, spirits, I invite you. I like you. You give me good interactions. You can come and hang out with me. I gave him that permission to come talk to me whenever he wants. And just at Edinburgh last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, whatever.
Yep.
Walking around with the Avalis, we had one of the things Heidi and I are walking. It says Norman. I go, well, I only know one Norman. Norman, is this you from Broadhead? It goes, surprise. Right? It was so funny. And those are the interactions that I just do this for, because it was so funny, because the obelisk, it says the words in different ways and everything like that. It just said it so perfectly, like I'd imagine he would. And that just poses it's so interesting that, you know, that spirit came from Broadhead and it's crossed over now. And now it's in Iowa with me, you know. That's just very interesting to me.
I like you.
Yeah.
Because you know, you spend a lot of time at Broadhead, so it has spent its time to know you.
Yeah.
So when it knows you, it will travel with you.
Yeah. But I don't know about travel, but I feel like if you're at a place a lot, I feel like the energies start to just get more comfortable and trusting, and it will amp up. Stuff will amp up because they know, they trust, they open. You know what I mean? And there's another thing I've been working on. Something maybe you can try too. I want everybody to try it actually. But I've been finding that I leave like I said, I'm an EVP person. So I leave my recorders going nonstop the whole time.
Yeah.
Other people do EVP bursts.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of this year, I've been finding that when I'm going back and I'm listening to that audio from that investigation, and I'm listening to us listen to our EVP burst on my recorder. And there are answers coming after. Like, it's not during while we're listening, while we're actually doing it. And then when we're listening back, we don't hear it. But on my recorder, after we're rewinding and listening, we're getting the answers on my recorder.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost, so then I'm like, well, what if they can hear better via recorder the way we hear better via recorder? So sometimes we're not even hearing anything, but then when we listen back, we get EVPs.
Right.
What,
I mean,
and we can hear it. What if it's the same for them? They hear better via recorder.
it's the same for me at
It's
Edinburgh.
an electronic jolt or help.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I left my recorder going in the child's room at Edinburgh because Mike and his girlfriend came up and was like, hey, we're leaving. So I'm like, okay, I had to get stuff out of the car. So I walked out. I was gone for 10, 15 minutes. Yesterday, I played back that session, and the child room was quiet. You get knocks. I was trying to get things to move. Nothing was happening. There in those 10, 15 minutes that I was gone, I got a voice, and I got about 4 to 6 knocks. They got more active with me being gone than I was there.
Sometimes that's just the case, sadly.
Right. But that's the reason why they had the recorder running instead of doing bursts.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it run than doing bursts.
I literally think it has to do with just if you're there at the right time and everything's aligning, because I can go to locations and nothing happen all night and then go another time and it's bumping. You can have 3 people there and get nothing, or have an event and you get 43 EVPs in a night and, all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So I honestly think it has everything to do with, there's so much variables. And do we really, and we're never going to 100% know, because none of us are dead.
Exactly.
I'll tell you this though. I will tell you this, Ethan.
I'm dead inside. Not just kidding.
Okay, I'm just going to hypothetically speak here. Okay, I'm going to die before you because I'm older, right?
Okay.
After that happens, you go to the Eisenhower farmhouse in Gettysburg, and I will give you evidence and EVPs like no other. Because that's where I'm going when I die. I'm going to be there. So
sounds good.
Come talk to me, and I'll give you it.
Awesome. I love that. Hopefully we could do that before that point, though.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'll hook you up with some evidence.
I'd appreciate it.
So with my last question of the day. So this has been an awesome interview. Okay.
Thank you.
So what would you like to, what's the kind of advice or something you want to leave with the audience today that will remember Ethan?
That will remember Ethan. That's some advice is don't go into everything thinking you're talking to demons. Don't be scared, please. Most of these are just humans just like you. And what would you want to happen? Would you want someone that's going in there jumping at everything you do, or do you want to go in there and laugh and make jokes with other people? That's kind of what I've built myself on, is going out, having a good time, laughing, and the spirits joining in with us and interacting and getting evidence that way.
Because that's when we were at Hinsdale and we were cackling hens and joking and talking amongst ourselves, and we were kind of laughing at so much, like the equipment upstairs starts to go off. Then we're here walking in the kitchen. It's almost like they love that positive laughing. You know what I mean? Hearing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want. They don't want the serious. They want to feel like they're human again.
Normal.
Yeah, exactly. They want to feel like one of us.
Not paranormal.
They get around with you.
Normal, exactly. They want to be normal. So
they can play as poltergeists, but they want to have fun and joke around.
Yeah,
you know,
you'll that's how I've gotten my best evidence, and it continues to work every time. Is going out, just having fun, and then you get evidence on top of it. It works tremendously.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
don't be scared. They're all humans too.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you're talking to a guy over here that used to be scared of ET when I was little.
Aw, I love E.T.
Well, to be fair, that ain't a human. So I mean,
I'm more afraid of humans than
Most
I
people
am
was like,
anything.
Jesus Christ,
That's
he's investigating.
right.
He was scared of ET. How could he do this shit? It's because I'm older now.
Yeah.
Well, E.T. wasn't exactly nuts. I mean, as a kid, you know what I mean? I was a little older when it came out, but I mean, I cried when I thought he died and stuff. You know, I was like happy he came back, but just saying.
Yeah.
I'm more scared of like wrong turn people, like humans that want to do
Yeah.
stuff.
The humans way scarier than
Way
spirits.
scarier.
That's a PSA I can put out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just talk to spirits, not humans. It's fine.
Right. Right. Most of us humans are scary anyways to talk sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Darren,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah, Darren 3 a.m. in the dark is.
Yeah, it gets a little scary. Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ, this old man wants to investigate and he's yawning his ass off. Jeez.
Jeez.
So, well, anyhow, this was like I said, a fantastic interview. I'm glad you were able to get on here, and we'll do another interview down the road and talk about different things that you might want to talk about. And
Awesome.
so with that, that's Ethan, and that's
Hey, guys.
Taryn. And you have been watching the Paranormal Brew and the BB3 TV networks. Also, if you don't have Facebook and want to venture out somewhere else, go to YouTube at the MGS Paranormal YouTube channel, and you can catch us on there at the same time as Facebook is going. So, with that, everybody, I'm glad you had a chance to come in and listen to Ethan talk and explain his story and tell you all good things about the paranormal. And yeah,
Toodles. I like it. Robert said toodles.
Hi, Robert.
So I bid you all adieu, and we'll see you Friday. So long, everybody.